Hello and welcome to the 4th Bethesda Orchard Follies. I'm Rosemary Kurt and I'm going to be your Master of Ceremonies. I ask you now to please silence your cell phones. Our theme for the 2022 Follies, as you can see from your program, is My Favorite Things, taken from the favorite movie of all time, Sound of Music. To begin the program today, please welcome our Bethesda Orchard Glee Club.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens,
bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens,
brown paper packages tied up with strings.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels,
Doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles,
wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things.
When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
As you will see from the parody that's coming up, our favorite things change dramatically when we age. Keep only cheerful friends. The grouches pull you down. Don't take guilt trips. Take a trip to the mall. Take a trip to the next county. Take a trip to a foreign country, but not to where the guilt is. We try to throw out non-essential numbers like age and height and weight. We leave that for the doctors. And when it comes to chocolate, resistance is futile. Please welcome Angie, Phil, Nancy, and Martha as they tell you about their favorite things.
Maylocks and eye drops and needles for knitting, walkers and handrails and new dental fittings, bundles of magazines tied up in string. These are a few of my favorite things. Cadillacs and cataracts and hearing aids and glasses, Polydent and Fixodent and false teeth in glasses, pacemakers, walkers, and porches with swings. These are a few of my favorite things. When the pipes leak, when the bones creak, when the knees go bad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Hot tea and cookies and corn pans for bunions, no spicy hot foods or food cooked with onions, bathrobes and peanuts and hot meals they bring. These are a few of my favorite things. Back pain, confused brains, and no need for sinning, thin bones and fractures and hair that is thinning, and we won't mention our short shrunken frames. Then we remember our favorite things. When the joints ache, when the hips break, when the eyes grow dim, then I remember the great life I've had, and then I don't feel so bad.
As we continue to mature, we will learn a few other things that we'll encounter, and Anne will tell you all about it.
Are you lonesome tonight? Does your tummy feel tight? Did you bring your Mylanta and Tums? Does your memory stray to that bright sunny day when you had all your teeth and your gums? Is your hairline receding? Your eyes growing dim? Hysterectomy for her, prostate for him. Does your back give you pain? Do your knees predict the rain? Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight? Is your blood pressure up? Your good cholesterol down? Are you eating your low-fat cuisine? All that oat bran and fruit, Metamucil to boot, helps you run like a well-oiled machine. If it's football or baseball, he sure knows the score. Yes, he knows where it is, but forgets what it's for. So your gallbladder's gone, but your gout lingers on. Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight? When you're hungry, he's not. When you're cold, he's hot. Then you start the old thermostat routine. When you turn out the light, he goes left, you go right. Then you get his great symphonic snore. He was once, oh, so romantic, so witty, so smart. How did he turn out to be such a cranky old fart? So don't take any bets. It's as good as it gets. Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has left the building.
Martha and Faith are up next with a folk-style song, which was originally an 1860 Victorian parlor song. They are accompanied by John Peterbaugh and his musical instrument, the accordion.
I'll think of her never, I'll be wildly gay. I'll charm every heart and the crowd I will sway. I'm in it to see him regret the dark hour, when we won and neglected this frail wildwood flower. He told me he loved me and promised to love, through ill and misfortune, all others above. Another has won his own misery to tell. He left me in silence, no words of farewell. He taught me to love him, he called me his flower. That blossom for him all a brighter each hour. But I woke from my dreaming, my idol was clay. My visions of him all faded away.
It's back to school next as Johnny and the teacher discuss Johnny's history lesson.
History class, come to order. I heard you back there. Well, as you remember, yesterday, I told you that today we were going to be doing oral reports for grades. Any volunteers? Johnny, I see you back there, slinking down in that chair. Come on. Oh yeah, come on.
I think of all the things at school a kid has got to do, that studying history as a rule is worst of all. Don't you?
Yeah!
Yeah, see? They agree. They agree. They agree. Yeah.
Come on.
Of dates, they're an awful sight. And though I study day and night, there's only one I've got just right. That's 1492. I got that one. I got
Very
it what?
good. Okay then, Johnny.
Yeah.
Tell us all about Christopher Columbus.
Christopher Columbus. Columbus crossed the Delaware in 1492. We whipped the British fair and square in 1492. At Concord and at Lexington, we kept the redcoats on the run while the band played Johnny Get Your Gun in 1492. Yes, they did. I worked really hard.
That's quite a historical mashup, Johnny, but I can't pass you on.
No.
No. Let's try again. Tell me something about the Pilgrims.
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 The Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock in 1492. And the Indians standing on the dock in 1492 asked, "What are you here to do?" And they said, "We seek your harbor dear, that our children's children dear may boast that their forefathers landed right here in 1492. Yeah.
No.
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 Shucks, what am I getting wrong, folks?
It's an interesting perspective, Johnny, but you're still making some errors. Let's try somebody different. How about Patrick Henry?
Pat Henry.
Pat Henry.
Pat Henry, with his dying breath in 1492, said, "Give me liberty or death," in 1492. And Barbara Fritchie, so 'tis said, cried, "Shoot if you must this old gray head, but I'd rather 'twould be your own instead," in 1492. Yeah,
No.
they did. It was,
No.
it's real.
No.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, John. Can't pass it, give you a passing grade on that one either. I'm gonna try one more. Let's do Pocahontas. What do you know?
Miss Pocahontas. She saved the life in 1492 of John Smith and became his wife in 1492. And the Smith tribe started then and there. And now there are John Smiths everywhere. But they didn't have any Smiths to spare in 1492. See, I know it.
No.
I got it.
No, no, no. No, you don't, you really had this very interesting take on historical figures. Not very accurate.
I studied day and night.
I can tell that you did. Let's try something totally different.
Okay,
Tell me about a state.
a state.
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Kentucky. Kentucky was settled by Daniel Boone in 1492. And I think the cow jumped over the moon in 1492. Ben Franklin flew his kite so high he drew the lightning from the sky. And Washington couldn't tell a lie. When? Come on! 1492! Yes! Yes! See? I did it! I really did it!
Sit down. Class, dismissed. I need to.
We often find that from our past follies, we always have a favorite. And this is one of them, Light a Rose. So we're going to welcome Norm, the two Jims, Don, and Faith.
Light a rose, I'm home again, Rose, to get the sun back in my sky. Light a rose, I'm home again, Rose, about 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion, I'll pop the question. Light a rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Light a rose, now everyone knows that I am hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or fine. Light a rose, oh won't you be mine? Light a rose, oh light a rose. Light a rose, oh light a rose.
Dream of now, dream of then, how sweet the love song that might have been. Do I
rose, light a rose, home again rose, without a dream back in my sky. Light a rose, home again rose, about 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion, I'll pop the question. Light a rose, home again rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Light a rose, now everyone knows that I am hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or fine. Light a rose, oh won't you be mine? Light a rose, oh light a rose, light a rose.
Our next number is sung by a relatively new Bethesda Orchard resident who was a former member of the Twilight Singers. Don.
Well, you do have a mic. Wise men say only moon cars if I can help falling in love with you, shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can help falling in love with you? Like a river flow surely through the sea, darling, don't go, something we're meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, but I can help falling in love with you. Like
Like a river flows.
yeah, go back. Surely to the sea, darling, so it goes, something we're meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, but I can help falling in love with you. I can help falling in love with you. Thank you.
I know you're all following this in your program, but I do like to introduce everybody. Our monologue, "An Old Lady Moved Into My Apartment," was created by Marty Holland. And I'll bet a lot of us can relate to her observations.
Is Todd anywhere around? Todd needs to be here. Because he needs to know about this strange old lady who has moved into my apartment. I have no idea who she is, where she comes from, how she got in. I certainly didn't invite her. All I know is that one day she wasn't there, and the next day she was. She's a clever old lady and manages to keep out of sight for the most part. But whenever I pass a mirror, I catch a glimpse of her. And whenever I look in the mirror, there she is, hogging the whole thing, completely obliterating my gorgeous face and body. This is very rude. I've tried yelling at her, but she just yells back. The least she could do is offer to pay some of my bills, but no. Every once in a while, I find a $5 bill stuck in a coat pocket or some loose change under a sofa cushion, but it's not nearly enough. And I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I think she's stealing from me. I get a check cash for $50, and a few days later, it's all gone. I certainly don't spend money that fast, so I can only conclude that the old lady's stealing from me. And money isn't the only thing I think she's stealing. Food seems to disappear at an alarming rate, especially the good stuff, like Cheetos and Snickers and Oreo cookies. She must have a real sweet tooth, but she better watch out, because she's really packing on the pounds. I suspect she realizes this, and to make herself feel better, she's messing around with my bathroom scale to make me think I'm the one putting on. For an old lady, she's really childish. She likes to play nasty games, like going into my closet when I'm not home and altering my clothes so they don't fit. And she messes with my computer and my floor meeting stuff so I can't find anything. This is particularly annoying since I am extremely neat and organized. She's found other imaginative ways to annoy me, like she gets into my mail, my library books, my Sunday STL Today, and my Fire HD tablet. She gets in there before I do, and she messes with the print size. So I have trouble reading it. And she's done something really sinister to the volume controls on my TV. Now all I hear are mumbles and whispers, and forget Masterpiece Theater. She's done other things, like somehow making the halls leading to the dining room longer. How could they get any longer? And I'm having to take cold showers because she fixed it so I can't turn the hot, cold, numb. She even made my bed so hard to make that anymore I just pull the covers up, and I'm going to have to donate my beautiful bedspread to the garden shop. Lately, she's been fooling with my groceries before I put them away. She applies glue to the lids of jars. Like I have trouble opening my Aunt Nellie's pickled beets on account of her. She's taken the fun out of shopping for clothes. When I try something on, she stands in front of the mirror and fills it up with herself. She looks ridiculous in some of those clothes. Plus, she keeps me from seeing how great they would look on me. Just she couldn't get any neater. She proved me wrong. She came along when I went to get my picture taken for my non-driver ID. And just as the camera shutter clicked, she jumped in front of me. Now, I don't even recognize that gray-haired old lady on my ID. I sure hope she never finds out where you live. And Todd, can she help with the rent?
When we feel a desire for something or to do something, that's the definition of being in the mood. We can relate to the Glenn Miller song, In the Mood, and Angie and John will show you how to swing when you're in the mood. One of the most famous baseball comedy acts to ever take place was the humorous exchange between Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. The words alone cannot do it justice, but it is still funny. The script was originally on the radio live on the Kate Smith Hour, March 24th, 1938. By 1944, Abbott and Costello had their routine copyrighted. As you're enjoying Ann and Barb with their rendition of Who's on First, check out the baseball diamond on the last page of our program.
Well, Costello, did I tell you I'm going to organize a baseball team right here at Bethesda Orchard?
Wow. Hey, look, Abbott. If you're the coach, you must know all the players.
Right, I certainly do.
Well, I never met the guys. So, you tell me what their names are, and then I'll know who's playing on the team.
Oh, I'll tell you their names. But strange as it may seem, they give these ball players nowadays very peculiar names.
You mean funny names?
Strange names. Pet names like Dizzy Dean and
And his brother Daffy?
Daffy Dean.
Hey, and how about their French cousin?
French?
Yeah, Buffet.
Oh, Gouffet D. Oh, I see. Well, let's see. We have on the bags, we have who's on first, what's on second, I don't know is on third.
That's what I want to know. That's what I want to find out.
I say. Who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
Are you the manager?
Yes.
Well, that's, who's on first?
Who?
You're going to be the coach too?
Yes.
And you don't know the fellas' names?
Well, I should.
Well then, who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the fellas' names.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first baseman?
Who?
The guy playing first base.
Who is on first?
I'm asking you. Who's on first?
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yeah,
Well, go ahead, tell me.
that's it.
That's who?
Yeah.
Look, you got a first baseman.
Yes.
And who's playing first?
Yeah.
And when you pay off the first baseman, who gets the money?
Every dollar of it.
All I'm trying to find out is the fellow's name on first base.
Who?
The guy that gets the money.
That's it.
Who gets the money on first base?
He does. Every dollar. Well, sometimes his wife comes down and collects it.
Whose wife?
Yes. What's wrong with that?
Look, all I want to know is, when you sign up the first baseman, how does he sign his name to the contract?
Who?
The guy.
Who?
How does he sign it?
That's how he signs it.
Who?
Yes.
All I'm trying to find out is, what's the guy's name on first base?
No. What's on second?
I'm not asking who's on second.
Who's on first?
Oh, come on, one base at a time.
Well, don't change the players around.
I'm not changing nobody.
Take it easy, buddy.
All I'm asking you is, who's the guy on first base?
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
What's the guy's name on first base?
No. What is on second?
I'm not asking who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know.
Oh, he's on third. We're not talking about him. Now let's go back to first.
How in the world did I get to third base?
Well, you mentioned his name.
If I mentioned the third baseman's name, who did I say was playing third base?
No. Who's playing first?
What's on first?
What's on second?
I don't know.
He's on third.
Then I go back on that third again. Will you stay on third base and don't get off of it?
All right. What do you want to know?
Now, who is playing third base?
Why do you insist on putting who on third base?
What am I putting on third?
No, what's on second?
You don't want who on second?
No, who's on first?
I don't know. Third base. Look, you got an outfield?
Sure.
The left field name?
Why?
Just thought I'd ask you.
Well, I just thought I'd tell you.
Then tell me, who is playing left field?
Who is playing first?
I'm not. Stay out of the infield. I want to know, what's the guy's name in left field?
No, what is on second?
I'm not asking who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know.
Third base.
And the left fielder's name?
Why?
Because
No, he's center field.
What in the world?
Well, that's the fellow's name.
Look, you got a pitcher
Sure,
and the pitcher's name?
tomorrow.
You don't want to tell me today?
I'm telling you then.
Well, go ahead.
Tomorrow.
What time tomorrow?
What time what?
At what time tomorrow are you going to tell me who's pitching?
Now listen, who is not pitching? Who is on?
I'll break your arm if you say he's on first base. I want to know what's the pitcher's name.
What's on second?
I don't know.
Third base.
Got a catcher?
Certainly.
And the catcher's name?
Today.
Today? And tomorrow's pitching?
Now you've got it.
All we got is a couple of days on the team. You know, I'm a catcher too.
So they tell me.
I get behind the plate, do some fancy catching, and tomorrow's pitching on my team, and a heavy hitter gets up.
Yes?
Now, that heavy hitter bunts the ball. When he bunts the ball, me being a good catcher, I want to throw the guy out at first base. So I pick up the ball and I throw it to who?
Now that's the first thing you said right.
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's all you have to do.
Is throw the ball to first base.
Yes.
Now who's got it?
Naturally.
Look, if I throw the ball to first base, somebody's got to get it. Now, who has it?
Naturally.
Who?
Naturally.
Naturally?
Naturally.
So I pick up the ball and I throw it to naturally.
No, you don't. You throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
That's different.
You're not saying that. That's what I said. I throw the ball to naturally.
You throw it to who?
Naturally.
That's it.
That's what I said.
Listen, you asked me.
I throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
Now, you ask me.
You throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
That's it.
Same as you.
You just change them around.
Same as you. I throw the ball to who? Whoever it is drops the ball. The guy runs to second. Who picks up the ball? Throws it to what? What throws it to? I don't know. I don't know. Throws it back to the tomorrow. Triple play.
Yes.
Well, another guy gets up. And it's a long fly ball. Why? I don't know. He's on third and, oh, I don't even give a darn.
Oh, what?
I said I don't give a darn.
Oh, he's our shortstop.
Oh, geez. Thank you.
This quiet gentleman, Phil Fleet, surprised us all when we had our first Follies rehearsal. He didn't tell anyone what his act was going to be. He just said he wanted to be in the Follies. Now you get to see for yourselves.
I'm going to offer a brief explanation of why I've chosen this particular song. In the year 2000, I was finally able to retire. I was a young lad of 70 and I moved to Asheville, North Carolina, mainly because I was interested in hiking and I wanted to join a couple of the groups there and get out on those mountain trails. Also, a long suppressed interest of mine was singing. I'd been a singer from a very early age, but with work and family responsibilities, I had to put that aside. Now I was going to be able to sing again, and I was going to be able to join maybe some choral groups and some choirs and get back into it. And also I found a local voice teacher who was going to take me on and help me solve the problem I had with my breath control and maybe extend my range. And so it looked like a beautiful, bright retirement future. When going off to join the hikers at various trailheads, I would use the car time as a rehearsal, a way to vocalize and to put in a tape and learn new music. And I didn't realize that as I was driving up to the hikes, I thought I was in a soundproof booth, but I guess I wasn't, because people started hearing me and they started asking me about the singing and what was it all about. And after a while, when was I going to sing for them? And they kept on with the pressure till finally it was decided to use the hall at the Unitarian Church, and I would give a concert and I would sing for all of them. And anybody who wanted to come would be invited. Well, it was a big success, and it like opened a Pandora's box. And suddenly I started getting requests through the years of any senior center or retirement community or somebody with a special birthday party or a senior lawn party to come and sing. And this went on for 12 years. Who expected it? And finally I was getting way past my 70 retirement. I was looking ahead toward 90, and I was wondering how long are these vocal cords going to hang in there, and maybe I should give up. And it all happened, solved the problem by itself, because my family in St. Louis thought I was there all by myself and there was no family around. It was going to be difficult to get to me in an emergency, and maybe I should move back to St. Louis and to the Bethesda orchard. And so I had to give a farewell performance before I left, and the opening number in that farewell performance was the song I'm going to sing now. Who expected 2.5 years later, after I said farewell to singing, that I would be singing again here for you? And the wonderful lady who used to accompany all those years, Lenora, used to pack up her keyboard and go wherever we went. She, of course, wasn't going to give up her husband and her home in Asheville and come to St. Louis with me. So you're going to get me without any accompaniment. It's going to be a cappella. And so here's the song, the farewell performance opening number. Gather round me, everybody. Gather round me while I preach some. Feel a sermon coming on me. The topic will be sin, and that's what I'm again. If you wanna hear my story, then settle back and just sit tight while I start reviewing the attitude of doing right. You gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum, have faith, a pandemonium liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
I was going to tell you how the next act came to be, but I'm going to let Jim Gretsch tell you how it all came about. The audience is encouraged to join them in the final refrain on page 5 of your program when Jim Kurt so indicates.
I'll open. Raise your one. Nope, another one to me.
No,
Come on, Jim, get in there.
no.
All right. Take 3.
Lost again, didn't you?
It was about 2, 3, 4 months ago. Time flies when you're having fun. When Jim and I were talking, and I said, you know, it'd be great to get guys together for some reason or another. And almost simultaneously we said poker. And so we thought we'd get guys together to play some poker. And if you want things done around here, there are 2 people you contact. Jim Kurt, Rosemary Kurt. So Jim did his thing. And we had a professional poker table, some professional casino chips. Thank you, John Paynon. Harry Beck had a professional machine that shuffles the cards. Everything was going great. We had about a dozen guys show up. Super. There was just one thing wrong with it. I was losing.
And he still is.
Yeah. So I remember the words from that great American philosopher, Kenny Rogers. And here's the word. Here's what the wisdom of Dr. Rogers is as he shared it with me. On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere, I met up with the gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns of staring out the window at the darkness. When boredom overtook us, he began to speak. He said,
"Son, I've made my life out of reading people's faces, knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind my saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice."
So I handed him my bottle. He drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed his cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. He said,
"If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting. When the dealing's done, every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away and knowing what to keep. 'Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, and the best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep."
And when he finished speaking, he turned back toward the window, crushed out his cigarette, and faded off to sleep. And somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. And in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep.
You've got to know when to hold 'em, know where to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting. When the dealing's done, you've got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting. When the dealing's done.
Together, Wherever We Go is a song by Stephen Sondheim, written for the musical play Gypsy in 1959. It was introduced by Ethel Merman, Jack Klugman, and Sandra Church. Enjoy our closing number with Angie, Martha, and Faith.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Wherever we go, whatever we do, we're gonna go through it together. We may not go far, but sure as a star. Wherever we are, it's together.
Wherever I go, I know she goes.
Wherever I go, I know she goes. No fits, no fights, no feuds, and no egos. Amigos together. Through thick and through thin, all out or all in.
And whether it's win, place, or show, with you for me
And me for you.
we'll muddle through whatever we do together, wherever we go.
Wherever we go, whatever we do, we're gonna go through it together. Wherever we sleep,
If prices are steep,
we'll always sleep cheaper together. Whatever the boat I row, you row. A duo. Whatever the boat I row, we row.
a trio, and N-E-I-O-U-I-O-U-O.
Oh, me oh, no you oh.
No, we all
Together, we go in a group, we tour in a troupe, and land in the soup, but we know the things we do by threes, a perfect team. No, this way, Louise, together, wherever we go.
As you can see from the program, that's it. We thank you all for coming, and I'd like to call out our cast and say a special thank you to them, especially for their hours and days of practicing and rehearsing. And now a round of applause for our pianist, Judy Hewlett. Judy. And where is the Glee Club?
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Green-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings,